Hi, beautiful bulletproof moms or bulletproof moms in the making. I just wanted to reach out and share a little bit about becoming an unschooling mom versus a homeschooling mom, because probably a lot of you, when your kids came out of school, thought that you needed to be the number one best, like straight A homeschooling parent and do all sorts of activities and um, workbooks and school lessons and such with your kids. And from somebody who is an unschooler, but not a radical unschooler, because that's a whole other spectrum of things, um, I just wanted to give some pieces of wisdom around that journey from being a schooling mom to an homeschooling mom to an unschooling mom. And the basic difference that I see between homeschooling and unschooling is how much effort you have, how much time, effort, and energy and money you have to put into homeschooling. Because a lot of the homeschoolers, when I started homeschooling and I met up with other families, I would see that the other families were like super into doing all the activities and packing their kids' days 24/7 full of activities. Now, you might have thought that that was an option when they came home from school, but now with quarantine, that's really not so much of an option, and it's really just what is available in your house and in your space. And I do have a whole video series on how to manage your day and your schedule for the day for unschooling, and so that's available through the little link that'll be at the bottom of the video. I wanted to just share that unschooling is really beautiful in that it assumes that children and human beings in general are natural learners. They're naturally inquisitive, they're naturally curious, and they're naturally passionate about things. And through unschooling, which is basically just allowing yourself to move through life, and when learning opportunities arise, you go, oh, here's a 5 to half-hour-minute recipe for more information about this based on what I know, based on what we can look up right now. And instead of having a curriculum that's sort of standardized and pressed onto your kids, you really let life and the world around you create that. So that could be something like, studying how bacteria spread right now. Maybe that might feel a little bit like freaky, or how viruses spread. Maybe that might feel a little bit too freaky. But studying how to household and enrolling their help in that can be totally helpful. Learning about the science of boredom, learning about how to self-entertain. These are crucial skills that most kids have never had the opportunity to learn, and most adults haven't had an opportunity to learn either, which is part of what's causing havoc in people's mindsets right now. But the idea behind unschooling is really this trust that everything with your kids will be okay. And if you can remember back to the time before they went into school and the rhythm of your days, now maybe that's a little sleepless and a little groggy-eyed and a little freaked out, but maybe between 3 and 4, when things were sort of more peaceful, they're a little bit older, and there's just answering questions and engaging with environments. And maybe those environments are your household, and maybe that's going through old things and looking at them and talking about them, or maybe it's doing some cleanup in your house, or maybe it's searching for resources on the internet, giving them, if your kids are older, like 6, 7, 8 or older, giving them a list of homeschooling resources, which some I've posted on my Facebook feed recently, and the World Schoolers group has a really great list of those. But offering those resources and saying, you go look at these various things and find out which one's most interesting to you, and then let me know, come back and tell me what you learned. And really being a great unschooling mom means that when they come back and tell you what they've learned, you give them your full attention for that time. And when they're passionate about something, you offer as much support as you possibly can to encourage that passion, and whatever that might be. I've heard some radical unschoolers who let their kids do games for 3 years straight, 2 years straight, 1 year straight. And at the end of it, their kids were like, that was good. I'm done with games now, and that's how they handled being unschoolers, and that's totally fine. Everybody's going to have different standards and different settings and different perceptions about how to be an unschooler. And if you have been feeling overwhelmed and stressed about being a homeschooling mom, I I just want to invite you to do a little bit of reading, or just watch this video and go, oh, I'm an unschooling mom. Great. No worries, and just take that homeschooling hat off and leave it on the shelf. And you can pull it back out at some other point in the future if you want to, when you have more energy, when you're feeling more emotionally resilient, whatever that might be. But this is just your permission slip to go, I'm going to take care of me and my family and our health and our mental health first, and I'm not going to force the kids to do anything that they don't want to do naturally from themselves, because that's a huge part of what's happening in terms of our shift of consciousness right now, which is, what do we feel like doing? What are we inspired to do? What is it that really nourishes us and feeds us and makes us feel good about life, versus doing, pushing, and not caring so much about the feeling of exhaustion or tiredness or whatever those might be. So I hope this has been helpful. Shoot me a comment in the comments below and say, I'm going to let go of this mindset that I had. I'm going to let go of this piece of, I thought I had to be like this, and I'm finding that I can be like this. Or if you've already gone through the shift, if you're already moving into unschooling, or you've been doing it for a while, I'd love to hear how that's working for you. What are some of the mindset shifts that you really experienced that you were like, oh, after I adopted this, it became so much easier. When I stopped trying to keep up with the fully scheduled homeschooling moms, I found myself much more patient, peaceful, and aligned with my true values of unstructured time and creativity, and allowing the natural impulses and excitements of the children to create their lives and create their days in the way that they want to. So we'll talk to you later. You can always check out more tips and tricks on how to handle stress from being at home with your kids at bulletproofmoms.com. I'd love to see you over there. There's a whole bunch more stuff in the membership and in that experience. Okay, talk to you soon.